Hello, and welcome to your mat. My name's Tess, if we haven't met yet. I'm a yoga teacher who lives in Australia. As you can tell, my accent is not from here, I'm Canadian. And I love to share funky movement, and especially for freedivers, because that's what I am. Can't get enough of the ocean. So these movements today are funky, fun, and activating the muscles that we use for freediving. Before you run away, you're like, oh, I'm not a freediver, this isn't for me. Please know, this is so transferable to like literally any type of ocean activity. If that's swimming, surfing, synchro, rugby, we're using the similar parts of the body to keep ourselves afloat in the water, and you might have some fun with this, so please stick around. And today's practice is short and spicy and to the point. So let's get started into a child's pose. Big toe mounts to touch, knees spread to edges of mat, melt the hips back down towards heels. Arms either gently reach towards the top of your mat, or they can be down by the sides of your bodies. Forehead comes to rest onto the ground. And although we are moving into a heated practice, heating up from the inside, right now is the moment to ground, to find stillness, because I assure you that the movement is on its way. Find a smooth rhythm of breath that travels in through the nose and out just the same. Our tidal breathing, so not overly filling the lungs, not overly emptying them. The passive inhales and exhales that we take. And these are the kind of breaths that I encourage when we're doing apnea holds. So whenever you catch a full breath, make that a gentle inhale, not to pack the lungs out 100%, then proceed to move. That can be quite damaging to your lung tissues, actually. That's not the goal of breath hold yoga. Just the opposite, when you catch your lungs on empty, that is a passive exhale, just when you reach the first bottom of your breath, not to squeeze past the bottom. Our lung tissue is delicate, and we are here to nourish it, not to jerk it around. When you force things, they tend to break. So let's not force. Your next inhale brings you up to tabletop. Wrists stack under shoulders, knees underneath hips, and start to move around on the wrists, circle out. Become strong through the back of shoulder blades, like you could peel them apart down your back. Imagine if somebody was pressing their hand to the space between your shoulders. Could you like press their hand away or press into it? And swap out the way of the circles. And then find yourself center. Belly drops, chin lifts. Cow. Tuck up the tailbone, ripple spine. Cat. And we'll spend a few cycles of breath here, connecting the inhale and exhale, or an option for apnea holds. So a gentle breath in and hold as you wiggle through two shapes, and then let the breath out and catch on the bottom and wiggle through two more shapes. Breath all the way in and hold. Ground out through the spine, and then flex through the pelvis, chin lifts. One more round, let the breath return back to normal. and we'll meet in neutral tabletop. Left knee taps left elbow, kick back. Left knee taps right elbow, kick back. Left knee to come all the way up, maybe touch the nose or the forehead, and then kick back and hold. Flex into the ankle, bend the knee, and pulse up. 10, 9. Engage through the glutes, the back. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Deliver left knee back down. Rebound child's pose, and then right back into your tabletop. Tuck into the toes for better balance. Right knee taps right elbow, and kick it back. Right knee taps left elbow, kick it back. Right knee in to touch the nose or the forehead if you've got that flexibility and strength. Then as long as the leg goes, flex the heel, bend the knee, and start to pulse. Keep the hips square to the ground as heel reaches higher in the space above. Engage through the glutes, through the core to protect lower back. And we'll go for 3, 2, 1. Untuck the toes, hips sink back just briefly. And come to the shins. A little shakeout of the wrists before we start the spicy flow. Next meeting place will be a downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Excuse me, Svanasana. So do whatever you need to do between now and then to get there. No rush, no rules. When you're ready, tuck into the toes, hips come high. Arms just barely brush the sides of your ears. Kick up high through right toes. Bend the knee to open the hip. Don't be afraid to let it really drape over, lengthening through right hip flexor, right psoas. And then re-square the hips, strengthen through the core, right knee taps right elbow, and hold. Draw down to the wrist, hold. Move over to left wrist, hold. Bring it up to left elbow, and then kick back. Bring right foot all the way through, plant between the hands. Humble out, warrior, back foot 45 degrees. Interlace the hands, and reach out through the chest as you bring yourself high for a bound warrior 1. Water wheel arms out, warrior 2. Flip the palm, reach, and reverse. Right elbow comes to right knee, maybe fingertips plant. Utthita Parsvakonasana. Extended side angle pose. Left arm reaches up and over. Your knee and your elbow are having a reciprocal relationship of pressing into one another to create strength and length down the inside of right leg. Pivot yourself into goddess pose. Both feet out parallel. Micro tuck into the pelvis. And stay strong and low. Palms come to knees, right fingers point in towards and drop the shoulder and the ear. In breath, catch on a little hold, swap out for the left side. Let the breath out, catch on the bottom as you continue to oscillate between the sides. So it's a gentle catch of the breath and hold for maybe only a few seconds. And then the exhale again to catch only for a few seconds. Starting to wake up through the groin and strengthen through the quadriceps. Next time you find yourself neutral, re-pivot out left foot, warrior 2 towards the front of the mat. Sweep both hands up high, Chandrasana, high crescent lunge. Frame out front foot, step it back. Your option, straight to downward dog or chaturanga. Belly, baby cobra, tuck, and hips up. This time left toes kick up and bend the knee to open the hip. Letting the sensation of a drip come from the knee down through the front side of left hip flexor. Can you let it drip just a bit heavier? And then re-square through the hips. Left knee taps left elbow, hold. Drag down to tap left wrist. Move over to the right, hold, and up to right elbow. And then step it back. Left foot plants through, humble out your warrior. Spin the back foot 45 degrees, interlace in the elbows, and thread through the heart space as you bring yourself tall. The clasp reaches towards the back of right thigh. Spin yourself open, warrior two. Stack strong, stack tall. Flip the palm, reach forward, and then in for the reverse. Unravel yourself, goddess pose. Sink deep and low into the squat, as if you could have a perfect 90-90. The tops of the legs being parallel to the bottom of the ground. Tops of the legs to top of the ground more so. And then 90 degrees in your knees. Micro tuck in the pelvis to stay tall. And then hands to insides of knees. First, dip right shoulder, right ear. And back through center. Left shoulder, left ear. And up. Either with the breath or choosing to catch your oscillating breath hold to bring some liveliness to the fascia that lives between the spaces of your lungs, your intercostals, your diaphragm, all those areas. And next time you reach center, come back up tall, reach hands out to a T, spin the back foot or back in a warrior two towards the front of the mat. Both arms reach up and tall, Chandrasana, spinning onto the ball of the back foot. Free mount the front, and your choice. Move through, chaturanga down. Flip over tops of feet. Keep the legs elevated in your upward facing. And tuck onto the toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana. One more strong and funky flow for this day. Right toes reach up and bend the knee to open the hip. Drip all the way over. Right hand reaches up as right toes reach towards wild thing. Press up and strong through the pelvis. Squeeze into the glutes to protect the lower back. And then replant into the hands like you've pressed a slow motion button. Swivel all the way to big toe side of left foot. Thread through fallen star. Reach the left hand up and overhead. Reframe out. Right toe taps right elbow and drags down to the wrist. And over to the left, and to the left elbow, and kick up. Plant the toe like you're twisting legs. And walk hands back, and let yourself hang out in the twist. Option to play with handstand. So, grip into your spider fingers. All four corners of the palms are connected to the ground. Unravel the right leg and straight leg kick-ups. And it's alright if you fall out. Cartwheel it. Do what you gotta do. We'll play here for a few hop-ups. So keep both legs straight and right leg swivels up high. See if you can stack out through the wrists, elbows, shoulder. Stay strong through your core. One more kick up if you got it. And then back down. Walk it out. Plank pose. Chaturanga down. Flip to tops of toes. Upward facing. And ripple the hips back. Last side for some play. Reach high into the left toes. Bend the knee. And drip the hip all the way until left fingers come off the ground and the toes back behind. Can you squeeze into the glutes to protect the lower back? Can you create a bit more of an arching sensation for the pelvis? One more breath here. And then replant into both hands. Swivel big toe side of right foot. Kick the left foot through. Fallen star. Pull the hips up to the sky. Right arm sweep over. Replant the hands. Left knee to left elbow and traces down to pause at the wrist. Over to the right side. Up to the left. Kick high. And land the left toes to crisscross behind the right. Walk yourself all the way to the back of the mat. Come off your hands for a moment, give them a little shake out, and then opportunity to play with some kick-ups, handstand on the other side. So plant firmly into right toes, and we'll sweep up with a straight leg on the left. Using your spider fingers for balance and to ground down through all four corners of your palms. Stack strong. See if you can get your hips above your head, maybe catching a moment of hang time. Can you become light and strong at the same time? One more kick. And last option for a flow through. Arms in close to body, chaturanga. Maybe lower all the way down to the belly. Baby cobra. Tuck into the knees. Hips sink back. Child's pose. And in no rush whatsoever, we'll work our way up into the back body for our final resting shavasana. Gather the shoulder blades together and down the back. Let the wrists and toes be floppy. Maybe take out your hair tie. Take off your watch. Whatever would make these last moments more comfortable. And you can, of course, stick with your tidal breathing, your gentle ebb and flow of the breath in and out. And if you'd like to take a long breath hold, go there. Maybe take 4 smooth breaths to prepare yourself. And then catch with lungs full. Fill up through the belly, the diaphragm, the rib cage, the collarbones, the throat, the mouth space, and come into the gap space. The space that we discover between the in-breath and the out-breath. Where in freediving, we are exploring that space quite often, right? Seeing how long can I linger here before my body gives me the signal that it's time to breathe. And is it a physiological signal, or is it a no, it's time to breathe type of signal? Creating a relationship of trust with your body and getting to know what each of the sensations mean. Body gives you the signal to breathe, let it back in. And once again, settle into the tidal breath and let yourself go totally loose. Loosen the hair follicles on top of your head, the space between your brows and down the face, the crinkle of your nose, and the space where your lips meet each other. Can you create more space inside of your mouth for your tongue to flap around and widen the jaw? Shoulders get to be melty, heavy, held by the ground. Back body pressed into the earth. The meat of your bones gets to melt off in a sense. Legs not having to do their work, they also get to be supported, and the joints loose as any remaining tension gets to leave through the fingertips and the toes. And we'll catch silence for several rounds of breath. And as always, I promise I won't interrupt. Soft gaze as you then start to circle out through the wrists, through the ankles. Reach up into the space above, interlace, press for a full body stretch. You can always finish out class on the back body, or slowly make your way to a seat. And hands first come to heart center. And then thumbs to third eye. Trace the face to pause on the lips. And trace the chin to top of the heart. And I hope that off the mat with you today, you can carry strength in your thoughts, peace in your words, and warmth in your heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you for practicing.